Hello, my name is Christopher Luisi, and I'm a senior from John F. Kennedy High School in Belmore, New York. Now, you may be wondering what this glass box here that I have is. Well, this is a thin layer chromatography assay, otherwise known as a TLC chamber. Over here, this red layer of liquid is actually just red dyed water, and I will explain further why this is important. But first, let me explain to you what this tube here that I have is. Well, this blue tube is called a respirometer. I independently developed this tube during my research experiment to measure the CO2 production of fruit flies. And CO2 production would entail for their metabolism. If a fruit fly would have a higher CO2 production, they would have a faster metabolism. And if they would have a lower CO2 production, they would have a slower metabolism. Now, let me explain to you how this was made. So I took a blue pipette tip, which is this blue outer layer, and inside of it, I put 2 pieces of foam, and you may see this small gap. Well, this small gap would have been made for a CO2 absorbent, like soda lime, but I decided not to put it in because it's highly toxic and it's not required for this presentation. And then you would have a small empty space up here where the fruit flies would go. And you can actually see a little fruit fly just hanging out on top right here. And this would all be sealed off by a piece of plasticine putty to actually prevent the fruit fly from infesting my house, and also to restrict any airflow in the respirometry assay, and also to put it in surfaces to stick it like that. Also at the bottom here, you have a small needle, which is actually a capillary tube. Originally, you would use a micropipette, which is just larger in diameter. But for this purpose, for this fast presentation, I decided to use the capillary tube because it's smaller in diameter, so you could see the reaction taking place. So the way this works is, let me actually replace this old one. You put this piece right here, and then you dip it in the water of the TLC chamber, and then you see over time the water actually rises. It might take some time, but what would happen is over the course of certain minutes, the water starts rising based on how the fruit fly's metabolism is. And then you would take the difference of the heights that the water rose, and you could convert that using a formula into their CO2 production, which would entail for their metabolism. Thank you.